Yo, what's up my brother, what's up my sister? This is your boy Ntege again with yet another amazing video. Actually, I've been asked oftentimes to tell a story of how I came to do certain pictures that I'm doing. Let me first put this camera right so that... So I've been asked by very many photographers how I come up with the ideas that I do for some of my clients. Most of these ideas happen by serendipity. When I say serendipity, they are fortunate accidents that I come up with some of these amazing ideas. And these particular ideas are usually, some of them come from clients themselves. They tell me, hey, can you create for me an image that is in such and such a theme? Some of the times I suggest these ideas. Now, that's why I'm going to start a series of images where I tell you the stories behind the images that I do most of the times. Now, let me just show you some of these pictures that I've done for clients, okay? This particular image was inspired by the Cinderella movie, the Walt Disney movie Cinderella. So what happened was this client comes to me and she sends me a couple of images. She had done pictures with her phone. So she sends me these pictures on my phone, but the problem was the images were very low resolution. And I asked her, is there a possibility of us having high resolution pictures? Of course, I would have shot the pictures had I been in Kampala. She was in Kampala and here I was in Dubai, so I could not do the shoot. So she tells me, is it possible, is there a possibility of you doing something about these images? I told her, yes, we could do something, but I could do even better if I had these images in high resolution. So I advised her to find a photographer within Kampala to do high resolution pictures of hers, of these particular images when she's wearing that dress, and she sends them to me so that I can create something inspired by that Disney movie, the Cinderella movie. So the final piece we did was this particular image here. So this is the other image we created from this other scene. And the beautiful thing about this is that I had to get inspiration from photos that had already been done. So I go down to Pinterest and I look at what other composites people had done that had been inspired by Cinderella, and I looked at the color grading, I looked at the backlighting. Let me just show you the original pieces. Now, this is the original image of how it was taken. This is the original image of how the whole piece looked like before I stitched it. And this is what I came out with in the whole image when I did the compositing, joining bits and pieces of different images. So basically what I did, I got a starlight, I got these columns from Invato, also got this horse from Invato. Then I added in a bit of flowers, stitched in some smoke and all that stuff, and created something super amazing. The beautiful thing about having a person, a client that has a liberated mind is that they give you what they call creative freedom. And it is this creative freedom that gives you the ability to do images that are super, super awesome. I've been blessed to have clients that are liberal. You know, this is now the skyline we used in the background. This is also part of the skyline. Part of it was also stitched, the stars and the like. This is, of course, how should I call it? The pumpkin. You remember the pumpkin ride? Should I call it a ride? The pumpkin wagon that was in the Walt Disney movie. I got this off Invato. Now, these are all the images that I was looking at. I love now the backlight in this, the way he played around with the blues. And it is the same thing, the same lighting that inspired this particular thing. I don't know who the photographer behind this, but this is from Deviant Art, but I looked at the way he worked with the yellows and the blue lights, and it is the same technique I applied to this image to give it that whole feel, you know, and it is the same thing that was inspired in this particular image. So I went on stitching various images to come up with these particular pieces. Let me get down in Photoshop and show you how it looked like in Photoshop, the layered versions of these images in Photoshop. Where is the Photoshop image? The Photoshop image is, it's this one here. So let me just put it down in Photoshop. It's quite heavy. It is going to take some time, of course, to open up. But at the end of the day, I want you to look at the layered image of how it really did look like. This is the story behind these awesome images, behind these composites. For those of you who are enrolling into the Retouching Secrets Masterclass, I'm actually soon updating it with a compositing class, teaching you guys how to composite images. Of course, I'm going to be showing you how I composite these images, how I stitch these bits and pieces together from start to finish. These are the layers, of course, of how it looked like in Photoshop. Let me just show you here. So when you look, it is all a layered piece. You know, we layer everything. Everything is layered from start to finish. These are almost like 30 layers. For those of you in the Retouching Secrets Masterclass, you're going to get all these compositing classes, in that everything is stitched from the background all the way to the foreground, all the way to the lights, until you get to the final image, you know? So I go on building and building every piece, every bit and piece, until I get to the final piece. So this is the empty canvas that we had here, okay? This is the empty canvas. And here we come, we add in the skyline. From the skyline, I added in the castle. Then from the castle, I went on to add on the landscaping of the castle to give it that particular more depth. Then I go on building the hills. Then we added in the wagon. From the wagon, we started adding in lights. Then we added in a bit of illumination into the lights to create that realistic feel. Then we go on, we begin now adding in the buckets. We give them those rim lights, yeah. Then we add in this cloudy feel all the way, you know. Now this one, you look for, is it Nubella skyline, in order for you to get those overlays. These are off inverter, so we introduce in our character. Yes, then rim lights, we add in the blue lights. You remember the other picture I showed you which had warm light and blue light? Now this is how I got the inspiration. Now for the rim light, of course, I had to punch it in here and there. Then we add in, okay, this was text, I don't need the text. So the smoke, we add in more smoke to give it more depth. We add in Nubella in order for it to have that kind of glowy. You remember the witch, when the witch actually, was she a witch? Yes. The witch that gave Cinderella powers. The dress was somehow, I'm looking at that scene when the dress was being transformed, was all getting onto her. The dress was all lit. So that is the scene I was looking at. So we add in all these particular things, the horse, the shoe, you remember that shoe, the glass shoe. Then we add in all these particular things, and then we add in the columns so that we get something that matches with the castle in the background. Then the rim lights on the columns, of course, the warm lights. Then we have the blue lights on the columns to match all through. And we go on adding. So I didn't want this to look like green, typical green plants. Again, we desaturated them. We have more. You get where we are coming from. Now, that is the story behind the Cinderella themed images. Tell me in the comments below whether you want me to do more and more of series like this that take you behind the scenes of how I create most of these images. That is the story behind the awesome piece of Cinderella. I'll see you in the next, and adios. Don't forget to enroll into the Retouching Secrets Masterclass to see how exactly I do such composites, because I have a full compositing class in the Retouching Secrets Masterclass that is yet to be updated. The Retouching Secret Masterclass is going to be updated with high quality content.
If you're a photographer who wants to level up the quality and outlook of your final images, no matter the camera, the one thing you should be focusing on learning and mastering right now is high-end retouching. In the past 10 years, I've helped thousands of photographers like you kickstart their businesses, and I can tell you, high-end retouching is by far the most important skill any new photographer can learn. It adds 10 times more value to an average image. And it is for this reason I've put together a masterclass called Retouching Secrets, where I teach you everything I've learned from retouching thousands of images for my portrait and commercial clients. Inside, You're going to discover the basics of high-end retouching, the tools you need. I will reveal to you the image assessment secrets to help you retouch any kind of photo, no matter the lighting. You will also get an overview of the color theory, an introduction to professional retouching techniques. Then after, I will show you over a dozen real-world examples where you will watch over my shoulder as I work on real client photos, and you will learn how to retouch the most common scenarios you are likely to come across. With these tools, techniques, and secrets in your hands, you will be able to create amazing high-end glamour images for your clients, no matter the camera you are currently using. So if you are ready to take your photography to the next granular level, click the link down here and get started right now.